Hello, my name is Richard Wathen. We're here at MOSTYN in Llandudno at the opening of my new show called New Eyes Every Time. The show consists of 9 paintings, 2 from 2019 and all the rest from 2020. Yeah, I think I focus generally on these works wanting to, in a way, simplify my practice to make the paintings more pared down and reduce almost to their essence, really, and placing the figures in a kind of non-space, certainly not a kind of recognised landscape. The painting here, I was talking earlier about the large painting previously had been a scene, a kind of recognised bather's scene, but I just realised that it wouldn't function particularly well with the other works, you know, where you've got this kind of minimalist aesthetic, the kind of block, almost the non-space, and yeah, so it kind of had to become what it is now, really, just so that it could kind of work with the others. But that, yeah, it's just that thing of not leaving the work sort of open to interpretation. There's no definite, you can't pin it down, I suppose, and the sort of I've always been interested in the timeless, or the kind of slowness of painting, so that things reveal themselves both to me, and that's partly what the title is referring to. So I discover things new all the time, but hopefully the viewer will as well. Certainly when I was back in art school, I was making predominantly abstract work, and I think the work that I was most inspired by was the abstract expressionist, and later, probably more importantly, I'd say the work of Philip Guston. And so in a way, the idea of making portraits was not something I had ever really considered. And then I think probably around 2002, 2003, I don't know, I'm not really sure why, I ended up making a painting of Frankenstein's monster, and I think I was interested in the notion of, yeah, the kind of things being brought together to the construct, and suddenly, as soon as I made this painting, I just knew that was the right way to go. And certainly the relationship that a viewer has with a portrait within a gallery, for me anyway, I'm always drawn to it was almost like the kind of contact, the face always draws me in. So, like I say, it's not, I don't ever see them as, I'm not interested in making a portrait of somebody. It's more, I'm interested in the nuances of being alive, fragility, vulnerability, and a lot of it stems from autobiographical references, I think, and that's not something that I necessarily want the viewer to be, you know, forced with, but it allows me an opening or a way into the work, I suppose. Well, certainly the imagery that I use is very varied. A lot of sourcing imagery online, old books, and it's something I really love doing, is just almost allowing chance to, you find an image here or an advert there from the 70s or something, and then there's a sort of melting pot in a way over time, and so I will attach this image to that film or that memory, and so it's just a case of things somehow finding maybe 3 or 4 elements that seem to make sense as an idea for a painting in a way, but like I say, it's very intuitive, and I'm quite happy to rely on that as a good way to start. And doesn't mean to say that they stay like that. They will often change quite a lot during the making, and I think part of the reason the works take so long to make is purely due to, because I mean you can see in terms of the actual finished painting, then there's nothing there to suggest that there's months and months worth of work. But I think, certainly if you were to X-ray any of them, there's numerous other pictures underneath, and that's where the time's spent, really. And I quite like allowing the work to lead me in a way, and to almost accept that there's a sort of point that you almost find within the work that you reach, and then you kind of right, that's it, I know where it's going now. But that could be straight away. So, I mean, funnily enough, the painting over here, the last one I started, but actually was the first one to be finished because it resolved itself very quickly, luckily. I always work on more than one. I very rarely ever work on one at a time. I quite like building them slowly over time, and there's something. I mean, I've also something I've really enjoyed with these works, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of emptying out, is also allowing the work to breathe a lot more and not be so refined, and just accepting of, you know, the flower just being initially a kind of plot for me. That was where the flower would be or something. But actually, I don't think it needs any more work than that. So that's that, and I feel kind of good with that, actually.